Polish officers at the Świętoszów training centre in Poland, which might soon be one of the places where Ukrainian soldiers will learn to operate Leopard 2 tanks, said that they can train a tanks crew in just 5 weeks if needed. The village of Świętoszów in western Poland, close to the German border, is one of only 3 locations in Europe, the other 2 being in Germany and Switzerland, where soldiers can learn to operate Leopard tanks. The Polish military declined to confirm to Reuters the exact location of the Ukrainians' future training, but local media say Świętoszów is the most likely location. A coalition of countries led by Poland was formed in January to provide Ukraine with Leopard 2 battle tanks, and on the 20th of January, Ukraine's defense minister, Oleksiy Reznikov, said that Ukrainian forces will train on Leopard 2 tanks in Poland. In the training centre, equipped with simulators and staffed by professional instructors, 14 crews of 4 can train at once. The training usually takes 10 weeks, but instructors say with a little investment, this could be reduced to 5 weeks. At the moment, we run 5 courses at the Leopard training centre. One of the courses is for the tank crews, so for the gunner, loader and commander. The second course is for the tank drivers for Leopard 2A4, 2A5 and 2PL. Above that, we also run specialist courses for mechanics for the armour, the chassis and additional equipment that goes with Leopard tanks. I think it is relatively easy to move from the post-Soviet equipment to the latest generation equipment. It is not such a big difference. It is only a matter of training the drivers, the gunners. The rules of firing stay the same on this tank as on the others. When we talk about training someone who used to work with the post-Soviet tanks to work with the tanks like Leopards or Abrams, 10 weeks of training is sufficient. If we intensify the training, at the expense of instructors' time and at the expense of our weekends, we're able to train a crew that comes from the post-Soviet equipment in 5 weeks so that they can work on the new generation equipment. Having a simulator allows us to prepare the participant of the course to the function he will be responsible for in the real equipment that he will be driving. The simulator also gives us a higher level of health and safety during the training before we let the soldier get on board the tank that weighs 60 tons. The difference is that the Leopard tank is a 3rd generation tank. Its mobility in diversified terrain is greater compared to the tanks of the Russian type. I can compare it to the situation when you can either have a Fiat 126P or a used Mercedes. It is easier and more convenient to drive a used Mercedes than a new Fiat 126P. The soldiers can practice for different roles and on 3 different models of Leopard 2 tanks that are available in the centre. The older 2A4 version, the newer 2A5 model, and the 2PL model, modernised for the Polish army. We see 3 versions of Leopard 2 tanks behind me. The earliest version is the Leopard 2A4. The next one is the 2A5 modernised by the Bundeswehr, and the lastest tank we received in our training centre, the Leopard 2PL. We are currently training soldiers from the 15th Brigade and we train them on those 3 models of tanks. After 2 months of training, they are completely prepared to join the crew at the combat battalion. And it doesn't depend on the model? It doesn't depend on the model. The tanks are very similar, so there is no problem. Now it is just a matter of the use of specific elements because the tank sights were modernized as well as some other elements. The final stage of the training is the biggest challenge, which is finished with the training on the simulators, and the last part is firing the tank. We are now in the department where we train the armament mechanics. In this department we train soldiers who specialise in servicing the turret as well as the firing system and removing the malfunctions. The length of the training differs depending on the type of tank, but it usually lasts from 3 to 6 months. Every model from the Leopard family, 2A4, 2A5 and 2PL, are totally different tanks when it comes to equipment, servicing and fixing the turret. There are 3 different tanks and each course is different and presents a different set of knowledge. On the 20th of January, Ukraine's defense minister Oleksiy Reznikov said that Ukrainian forces will train on Leopard 2 tanks in Poland. The exact location has not yet been confirmed.